ජල සහන ගම්මැද්ද රට නගන ජල පවුර.
Good afternoon. Today is the 1st of August 2022. Welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1 for the Newsfirst team where the people come first. I'm Sanita Senanayaka. Before we take a look at the stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
Heavy downpours in many areas. Fishing communities urged not to set out to sea. National fuel pass for QR. Weekly fuel quota for three-wheelers insufficient, says three-wheel drivers.
ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ක්‍රම සහ විදි වලින් කෙලවුනොත් නම් එන්නේ පිඟානයි කෝප්පේ අරගෙන තමුන්නාන්සලා ගාව තුන් වේල කන්න දෙන්න ලෑස්ති වෙන්න.
Price of domestic gas cylinders to be reduced. Another unidentified body washes ashore. India reports first monkeypox death.
On to your weather update this afternoon. Multiple areas in Sri Lanka experienced a heavy downpour this morning. The Met Department advised not to venture into seas for fishing and naval activities in areas off the coast extending from Beruwala to Pothuwil via Galle and Hambantota until further notice. Two sluice gates at the Vimala Surendra Reservoir were opened following heavy rains since early this morning. The Disaster Management Unit of the Nuwara district requests the area residents to be vigilant. A flood situation was reported along the Hatton-Colombo and Hatton-Nuwara roads due to heavy rainfall in the western slopes of the central hills. Police requests the motorists to be vigilant due to the threat of landslides along the roads. Two floodgates of the Polgolla barrage were opened this morning to control possible floods that may occur in catchment areas due to heavy rainfall. Engineer in charge of the Polgolla barrage, Atula Pushpakumar, noted that 5,200 cubic feet of water is released per second from the floodgates. The public living in low-lying areas are kindly requested to exercise caution if rains continue. Meanwhile, heavy rains were reported in Ambalangoda, Batapola, Hikkaduwa, Gonapinuwala and Baddagama in the Galle district. The Galle-Baddagama road was inundated from several areas. The Met Department said winds will be westerly to southwesterly and wind speed will be 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. Wind speed can increase up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour in the sea areas off the coast extending from Beruwala to Pothuwil via Galle and Hambantota. Wind speeds can increase up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour in the sea areas off the coast extending from Puttlam to Beruwala via Colombo. Wind speed can increase up to 50 kilometers in the sea areas off the coast extending from Puttlam to Kankasanture via Mena. It also warned that there is a possibility to increase swell waves about 2.5 to 3.5 meters in the sea areas off the coast extending from Beruwala to Pothuwil via Galle and Hambantota. In more local news, the National Fuel Pass QR system will be applied in all filling stations across the country from today. The QR system will allow more than 5 million registered users to obtain fuel from filling stations across Sri Lanka. Bus operators alleged that the quota of fuel provided from the Angoda bus depot is insufficient. A heated exchange was reported between bus operators and depot workers. Filling stations in Kaluthara issued fuel using the National Fuel Pass QR method today. These visuals were captured at filling stations in Hambantota, where fuel was issued after scanning the QR code. Cooperative filling station in Hinguraggoda also adopted the National Fuel Pass method to issue fuel today. This was the manner in which fuel was issued to the public at filling stations in Chilau. A group of volunteers assisted the public on using the QR method in this manner. Long queues were observed at filling stations where fuel stocks were not received. These visuals were captured at filling stations in Hinguraggoda and Min area this morning. Fuel stocks were not received by any of the 7 filling stations in Dambulla as of this morning. As it was mentioned in the headlines, three-wheeler drivers allege that the quota of fuel allocated for them via the National Fuel Pass is not sufficient. 4 liters of fuel is not sufficient for a day, let alone a week. Three-wheeler drivers need to work 8 hours a day if they are to survive. That means a distance of 150 kilometers needs to be covered. To operate 25 kilometers a day, they need at least 6 liters per day. So a person who operates 6 days a week will not be able to ply his trade. Three-wheelers are required to register with police stations. Who is the minister trying to please here? If the system fails, we will come to you for our meals. Three-wheeler drivers in Valimada convened a media briefing to explain the issues while using the QR method. The closest towns to us are Bandarawela, Badulla, Norelia, which is about 30 kilometers away. We can run with 5 liters a week. It will be over within a day when we go to Badulla. We don't take passengers to Badulla now. We can't pay leasing installments as well. The Irrigation Joint Farmers Association of the Anuradhapura district says there will be a food shortage if fuel is not provided for farmers before the 15th of this month.
ලබන මාසේ 15 විතර විත්ස වෙනකොට ගොයියට ඉන්ධන ටික ලැබෙන වැඩ පිළිවෙලක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි ඒක
By the 15th to the 25th of next month, there has to be a method in which fuel will be distributed to farmers, but it cannot operate according to the QR system. If farmers fill out forms and submit them in offices and wait in queues, a crisis worse than the fertilizer issue will arise. When farmers tried to find fuel to sow their fields, they came under immense pressure. Some got beaten up. The government officers are responsible to provide us with consultancy services, be it regarding pesticide damages or obtaining fuel that is not available. That's because they don't have the fuel to travel. Water management officers of the irrigation department and agrarian units have no way of travelling for their jobs because of the fuel shortage. The government named several institutes as essential services, but they did not name agriculture as an essential service. Therefore, I request the government to make agriculture an essential service. Cattle are not used to sow anymore. The only cows are the rulers of this country. We will have to use those cows. The government control price is 92 rupees as of now, but the production cost stands at 183 rupees, not accounting for the effort and time put by the farmers. If that is added, it will cost close to 200 rupees. We requested the minister to give us a certified price of 150 rupees per paddy kilogram. The government must give a certified price for paddy. The ministers are given every facility by the government. They can visit areas like Anuradhapura, Jaffna, Polonnaruwa, Kilnochchi and Hambantota once every season. They must go to the farmer and discuss their issues. But today the farmer has to travel to Colombo on a bus or train, spending his own money. Change that system.
In more local news, Litro Gas said that the prices of domestic cooking gas cylinders will be reduced from the 5th of August. Litro chairman Mudita Perez told Newsfirst that over 100,000 LP gas cylinders were distributed to the local market today. He said the supply will continue despite inclement weather conditions, adding that the shortage has been eliminated to a greater extent.
With
with over 2 million YouTube subscribers. The most visited Facebook page. An island-wide network of correspondence with island-wide broadcast capabilities. News First, with the people.
General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Attorney at Law Sagara Karyawasam, told reporters today that even though it was claimed that a reserve of $7 billion were available when the government took over in 2019, it was not the case. He said that despite data recording such a reserve amount, the country was due to settle over $6 billion in foreign debt. Karyawasam said the government had to battle with COVID-19 to save the people's lives, and the SLPP believes that the country cannot recover with more loans. He said the International Monetary Fund is not the way forward, as numerous assistance sought from the IMF has not allowed the country to stand on its own. In more local news, another body of an unidentified male washed on the shores of the Galface beach this morning. Police noted the body belonging to an individual around 40 years of age.
Sri Lanka police was informed that a body was washed ashore. However, when officers arrived there, there were no human remains. However, at 8 a.m., the body washed up on the Galface beach once again. The identity of the deceased remains unknown. This is the second unidentified body to have washed up on the shores of Colombo within the past week.
The Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today ordered to remand Aragala activist Danish Ali until the 15th of August. Aragala activist Danish Ali was arrested for forcing his way into the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation and demanding the transmission be interrupted. Colombo Chief Magistrate Nandan Amarasinghe has said an announcement will be made on the 15th of August with regard to bail for the suspect. In addition, the Prisons Department was ordered by the Chief Magistrate to produce the suspect in court tomorrow. Two people died following an accident at the Hennakaduwa area in Tangol along the Tangol-Ghambantuta main road.
The accident took place when a car veered off the road and collided into a tree. The victims are 35 and 30 years of age and are residents of Valiyara and Nidahaskama, Ranna. Two individuals who sustained injuries following the accident are currently receiving treatment at the Tangol Base Hospital, while another individual was admitted to the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital. 3 people who were injured following a head-on collision between 2 motorbikes along Vaskaduwa Gaul main road were admitted to the hospital. The injured are residents of Alpitiya and Bandaragama.
A special operation by the Navy and Vennapur police in Vennapur led to the apprehension of 47 individuals suspected to be on an illegal migration attempt to a foreign country via sea.
The coordinated operation was mounted by Western Naval Command and Vennapur Police based on information received by the Sri Lanka Navy. The group of individuals suspected to be on an illegal migration attempt to a foreign country via sea were nabbed after searching 3 suspicious vans in Vennapur in the dark hours of the 31st of July. Among the apprehended persons were 37 males and 6 females over 18 years of age and 4 individuals under 18. The 3 vans used for these illegal activities were also taken into custody.
The second phase of the Divisavya program to uplift the lives of poverty-stricken families is currently taking place in the Mannar district for the 26th day. The program is supported by LOLC Holdings.
Day 26 of the second phase of the Divisavia program commenced from the Mana district today. The program was launched from the Siruttoppu village in Mana. Today, essential relief packages are being distributed among families in 3 areas in the Mana district. The Divisavia program aims at supporting low-income families amidst the economic crisis.
In some news from India, Kerala has reported the first death of a monkeypox case in India. The 22-year-old man hailed from Thrissur district of the state.
ANI quoted State's Health Minister Veena George as saying that the man had tested positive in a foreign country. Other media reports said he was diagnosed with the infection in the United Arab Emirates and had landed in India on July 22nd. He was admitted to a hospital in the state of fatigue and encephalitis.
Afghanistan's Taliban forces have clashed with Iranian border guards on the frontier between the two countries. Taliban said one of their soldiers were killed in Sunday's fighting, which occurred in the border area between Afghanistan's Nimroz province and Iran's Hirmand region. Both countries blamed the other for the incident to avoid accountability. There have been several clashes at the border since Taliban militants took over Afghanistan a year ago. However, the exact circumstances of the latest skirmish are unclear. Nimroz police spokesperson said, quote-unquote, "We have 1 killed and 1 wounded." The Speaker of the US House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, has begun a tour of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan, with no mention of a possible visit to Taiwan. There has been speculation that she may visit the self-ruled island of Taiwan, which is claimed by China, who have warned of serious consequences if she were to arrive there. No high-ranking US elected official has visited Taiwan in 25 years. Nancy Pelosi, a California Democrat, tweeted that the 6-person congressional delegation tour would seek to quote-unquote reaffirm America's unshakable commitment to our allies and friends in the region.
With over 2 billion YouTube subscribers, the most visited Facebook page, an island-wide network of correspondents with island-wide broadcast capabilities. News First, with the people.
Taking a look at some sports news, the Sri Lanka men's 7A side rugby team produced their best performance to beat Zambia 27-14 in the semi-finals of the 13th place at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham yesterday.
ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කලබන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe කරන්න. News First ජනතාව සමග. ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කලබන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe කරන්න. News First ජනතාව සමග. ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කලබන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe කරන්න.
As Enter Russell won a record 11 NBA titles and 5 NBA Most Valuable Player awards during a 13-year career with the Boston Celtics. He captained USA to Olympic gold in 1956 and he transcended the court by becoming the league's first African-American head coach and an equal rights pioneer. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver stated that Bill Russell was the greatest champion in all of team sports to honor the passing of the player.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For more details on these stories, you can log on to our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Sarita Sena Nayakan. Take care and stay safe.